There's more speculation this morning over Prince Harry's tell-all book, which is supposed to be released later this year. Well, royal editor Russell Myers is here. And this book is kind of the stumbling block, isn't it, to the rebuilding of relationships and friendships in the royal family.
Yeah, well, I think that's putting it mildly because, you know, we've all seen the sort of not only the family united, but the country, indeed the world, has all been very, very much focused on the grief of the royal family. And why wouldn't it be? We've lost an incredible woman, an incredible legacy has finished. And now we're talking about Prince Harry's book, his memoir, long-awaited memoir, is potentially going to be coming out very soon. However, lots of reports over the weekend that this new £35–40 million deal could have been, not necessarily scuppered, but could be on the rocks, that he wants to potentially rewrite some of it. And why wouldn't he? Because, as you say, this will be the stumbling block. If there was any sort of olive branch that we heard from the King in his first statement, the Prince of Wales also inviting him out to those walkabouts, if there is any chance of repairing these relationships, well, you can bet your bottom dollar that this will be a real big problem if they start firing off any bombs. So
absolutely.
Let's wait and see.
What's the thing about Meghan saying she wanted to be the new Beyoncé or the UK's Beyoncé? I don't understand.
Well, let me try and explain. Because there are an awful lot of royal books out at the moment. However, this one is from a guy called Valentine Lowe, a very esteemed colleague of mine. It's called Courtiers, The Power Behind the Crown. And he's spoken to many, many sources, impeccably sourced, about people who worked for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex through their much maligned time as royals. However, the issues with Meghan, apparently wanting to be paid for royal walkabouts, kicking off that she didn't necessarily want to do certain jobs. And one of the people that Valentine has spoken to has said that Meghan had such an opinion of herself that it's claimed that she wanted to become the Beyoncé of the UK. Now, what does that mean? I think it means something about star power, doesn't it? Wants to be noted for being, you know, the main person in the room. And when it didn't go to plan, then the wheels came off, and we are where we are now.
You can't be the main person in the room if the other person in the room is the Queen. Well, I know she's no longer with us, but now it's, you know, Charles and Camilla, and then it goes on. I know
this big pecking order didn't really suit them. I think we know that, don't we? And that's why they went over to...
And you're saying impeccably sourced. We do have to say they've not had their say.
Well, they haven't, no. And you're right, you're quite right. And there are several books that are coming out, and it's been sort of actually well-timed. Maybe it's coincidence after the Queen's passing, but a lot of people are talking about it. They are, you know, quite adept at firing off lawsuits, so let's wait and see whether there are any complaints or
There has
claims.
to be some good news for her.
There is some good news. Let me enlighten you, because Meghan is going to be awarded an honour at the GQ Awards in November, and this is for her charity work. And we know that both her and Harry are doing an awful lot of good work with their foundation. Still, even in the UK, they're still patrons or connected to certain charities here. So I think that is a bit of good news in the darkness, because they've been in for a bit of a rough ride recently.
They have. I mean, you know, you have to say some of it of their own making, some of it out with their control, and that's the trouble, because they're not within the circle anymore, so they don't have that control.
Well, I think that's what they found, didn't they? So when you're up against it, then you know, you're
one of these books, though, did say something that was actually, I thought, very telling. They said that Harry had been horribly unhappy before he met Meghan, like within the whole system, he'd been really unhappy, and that she saved him. You know, he loves her very, very much, and she was his way out, and he took it.
That she did him a kindness, almost, because I think we know this about Harry. We've seen him speaking quite eloquently about... you know, his issues with being in the palace machine. They were talking about the spare and the air quite unkindly, but he has had a bit of a rough ride, and I think that the problem is that the way they went about it, and we've spoken about this many, many times, and listen, they've gone off, they're making a success of things. However, back to this book, if this does get quite nasty, it won't end well.
Now, look, one of the most poignant images of the funeral involved a little horse.
Yes.
It did.
Fell pony.
Wasn't it just beautiful? And there's been a really kind act from the Queen, hasn't there?
Yeah, there has. Now, this relates to Terry Pendry, who is the Queen's long-serving groom. And this is Emma, the fell pony, the Queen's own. And, I mean, this captured the hearts of everyone, didn't it, when the cortege was being pulled up
everybody went.
the long walk. I think this is the moment where people lost it. But Terry Pendry has been allowed to keep his grace and favour house on the Windsor estate. And why not? It's happened to Angela Kelly, the Queen's long-term dresser as well. And I think this is the Queen's parting gift in death.
Lovely. And that wee pony is going to be very happy too.
Very
and
happy.
the doggies are getting looked after.
The doggies are getting looked
It's all fine.
after.
It's all good. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.